Hey now! What is up, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka Review King MB, and I know I'm a little late. It took me way longer than it should have, but I finally got myself out to the theaters to see Sonic 3 Scarlet Witch. God damn. Why is it that even in her most demonic form, Scarlet Witch is still hot as fuck? Sonic the Hedgehog Part 3 is a 2024 film that was directed by Jeff Fowler. And, I mean, how could I describe this plot in a quick and precise way that makes sense without having to go through it beat for beat? Let me just forget the plot and just say this movie is wild. It's wild and it's crazy, and I found myself enjoying this quite a bit. I know that there might be some people who maybe didn't enjoy it as much as I did, maybe didn't love it as much because of certain things, whether it's because you're a diehard fan of Sonic and you know how that is. If you're a diehard fan and if you feel like the movies aren't doing everything right, then you got plenty of things to complain about. But also, if you're somebody who doesn't know the games, like me personally, I've played a couple of Sonic games, more so when I was really, really young. So I don't know the stories, right? To me, Sonic was just this character that you would run around really fast and collect rings. There is some deep lore and some deep backstory stuff that goes on specifically with the Shadow character that does come from a video game that kind of blew my mind over how deep and dark they were willing to go with that. But honestly, as a casual fan at best, I enjoyed this, and I've enjoyed really what they've done with the Sonic trilogy now at this point. Remember when that trailer for the first movie came out and we all hated the design of Sonic? It's crazy that not only did the studio listen to the fans when we all complained and said it looked like shit, but just that quick change, just that change that ultimately has led them to make so much money over the course of 3 films. We would not have gotten 3 movies if they were stubborn, if they kept that previous shitty design, and if they didn't listen. I know it's, especially on social media, you see a lot of people complain, you see a lot of people bitch, you see a lot of people complain for the sake of complaining, right? That's sort of what you're used to, and it all sounds like noise, and you can't really tell what's genuine and what's just bullshit. But this is one of the few times, maybe the 20% of the case, where the complaints were genuine, did come from a good place, and now we've gotten so much better movies because of that. And this film, let's talk about the cast, especially the voice cast. Ben Schwartz, who has been playing Sonic for 3 films now, and initially, I might have been lukewarm on Ben Schwartz and his voice and not knowing if I liked him as Sonic. But now I hear his voice and I think Sonic. I'm like, yeah, this is our Sonic. And I thought he did a good job. I mean, I know there's points, especially earlier on, where he might be a little annoying. But I thought the arc that Sonic goes through, especially trying to fight through his emotions and the things that he goes through and having to make the right choices, I liked seeing all of that. Colleen O'Shaughnessy, who voices Tails, who has been voicing Tails since the video games, and they brought her in for the movies. Another smart choice. Wow. Actually, a series that listens to the fans and makes choices that just make the most sense for the fans. It's quite shocking. And Idris Elba as Knuckles. I haven't watched that TV show with Knuckles. Watching this makes me want to go back and watch that show. Even if the show's not as great, I like Idris Elba. I like him as Knuckles. So I kind of want to see more of him. Shadow. Shadow is voiced by Keanu Reeves. And Keanu Reeves is a national treasure. He's somebody that I'm not going to say is the greatest actor in the world because I'm not a liar. But I like him so much as a person. I think he's a great person. You hear so many great stories about Keanu Reeves and all the BS he's been through, and he still sounds like a real swell guy. But I think him voicing Shadow and the way that he voices him, he is very stoic, he is very serious, he is very damaged over the backstory that he had gone through with that girl. So I understand where he's coming from, and I think he pulls that off well. It's not like a big range that he has to do as Shadow, and I think it's perfect, really. I have no complaints about the Shadow character. I thought the CGI and the special effects that they have to pull off with all of the animated characters, yes, they look very cartoony or look very video game-y, however you want to describe it, but I think they do such a great job of making that feel seamless in a live action world. I thought the effects looked really, really good. The live action cast. Jim motherfucking Carrey is the MVP of this film. Now, Jim Carrey's always been an acquired taste. I mean, I know more people probably enjoy him, especially back in the day, than not. But I know not everybody loves Jim Carrey. Not everybody maybe finds his humor, his brand of humor, funny. But man, did he make me laugh. And I mean laugh a lot throughout this film. Just the energy that he brought. Him playing two completely, well, not different roles, because one is the grandfather of Robotnik, and he's tremendous. Obviously, it's the same guy, but he still is somehow able to have chemistry with himself as the two characters interact and see the bond there, even though the grandfather's kind of an asshole, but Jim Carrey, Robotnik, obviously yearns for that fatherly, figure in his life. There is one scene where the two of them are dancing, and it's so dumb. I'm telling you, it's so freaking dumb that I was laughing hard in the theater, probably looking crazy because I didn't remember hearing anybody else laugh, but I just was enjoying myself. Anytime Jim Carrey was on screen, I was like, this guy is so effing funny. Thank God he did not retire, at least officially. He's seemingly willing to come back just to do Sonic, and that's it. So good for him. He made me laugh a lot. James Marsden and Tika Sumpter, who they've been kind of the main characters of the first two films, and so I guess it would have felt more weird to not bring them back for the third one. Like, you had to have them there, right? But the problem is that whenever they show up, I'm not going to say they're bad. They're not really bad. They just didn't have to be here. Like, they should have been here, but what they had them doing felt so inconsequential, felt so unnecessary, felt so like, okay, I think the series and the movies have sort of passed these characters by. They weren't interesting to watch. They weren't, again, not bad. But there is one sequence where the two of them have to go and infiltrate this government building, and they have these holograms where they could pretend to be like her sister and the husband. And I'm like, why are we doing this? Well, this is such a waste of time. I really don't understand. And I want to mention Kristen Ritter, because Kristen Ritter plays General Rockwell. I think that's the character's name. I'm only mentioning her because there's plenty of military characters, military actors just randomly popping in and saying a couple of lines and then bouncing. Now, she's in it for a decent amount of scenes, but her character is so sort of one note and undefined, and I'm still sitting here right now trying to figure out, was she the villain? Or was she just somebody in between everything going on? And because she's a great actress. Obviously, I know her as Jessica Jones from the Marvel Netflix stuff, and whenever I see her in something, I instantly go ooh, I like seeing her and stuff. And so this was a complete waste of Kristen Ritter. I'm glad she got a paycheck. I'm glad she got paid. I'm glad she hopefully is doing well, but I was disappointed by the lack of substance for Kristen Ritter. Hopefully we see her in a Marvel project eventually soon. Overall, though, what can I say? This movie kind of flew by. I mean, maybe it was 2 hours or a little less than 2 hours, but I was not bored. I was not sitting there waiting for things to speed up. I thought the action was good. I thought, once again, Jim Carrey kind of carried this movie with the humor. Everything else, though, I was sort of on board with. I'm going to give this movie probably, like, for kids, it's a full price. But for me, I'll say it's a good date movie. Definitely Jim Carrey, man. I can't stress enough how much this guy fucking brought it for me. Let me know in the comments below, what did you think of Sonic the Hedgehog 3? Did you like it as well? And who's that character that shows up in the mid-credit scene? Because, again, I don't know Sonic stuff. So there's this character that shows up to help, and I'm like, who is that? They're pink. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!